Michael jolted awake, his chest clamped in a vice lined with Arctic ice. He lay motionless, counting the mantel clock's throbbing ticks. Every 6 seconds, a hollow tick-tock, tick-tock, like bear paws circling the cabin. The swaying ceiling lamp cast jittery shadows over Susan's photo in her nurse's scrubs. His fingers closed around the nitroglycerin bottle in the dark, its glass cold as an operating room scalpel. 27, he rasped, watching the Fitbit's red-yellow pulse arc flop like a landed trout. The device's third midnight vibration still buzzed in his wrist. Dawn's pewter light seeped through storm shutters as he limped onto the porch. Air hung thick with snow and decaying kelp, that particular Sitka winter scent. His boots crunched over glazed steps while trembling hands clutched a percolator. The mailbox with peeling, the Rogers paint glared back. By Friday, a sold placard would hang there, his life packed into boxes labeled fragile in black Sharpie. Snowshoes dangled by the woodshed where his once proud cordwood stack, featured in Alaska Magazine's North Country Perfection spread, had dwindled to 5 soggy logs. Michael ran cracked knuckles over the axe wedged in the stump, its blade feathered with hoarfrost. "Not today, old-timer," he announced loudly, adjusting his pom-pom beanie. Anchorage cardiologists warned no exertion beyond snow shoveling, but after neighbor Jack's second coronary, all medical advice echoed like shouts down a glacier. He fished his usual spot 6:15 to 7:30 a.m. on the collapsible stool. The rod trembled in his grip, not from bites. Each exhale frosted his bifocals until seagull shrieks spun him around. Ted Harrow, the snowmobile neighbor, waved mittened hands shoreward. "Hey, Rogers, you ice fishing or becoming a popsicle?" Michael extracted the hook from cod gills pulsing with his heartbeat. "Doc Wexler prescribed new meds yet?" Ted crunched closer, reeking of gasoline and rye. "Can't even nap without nitro cocktails." Michael thumped his parka. "Take care like a 78 Husqvarna, 3 yanks to start." Ted's icicle beard quivered. "Heard you're selling out. Mayo Clinic calling? Hot nurses in Minnesota." Michael fumbled the fish into his tackle bag, frozen fingers missing the zipper thrice. Rolling icebox called retirement, Ted. 60's one long defrost cycle. The neighbor's chuckle died, spotting Michael's tremor. Shame about the cabin. Jack predicted this. Remember his bear funeral rants. Lake ice boomed like a shotgun report. Michael pictured crows circling Jack's roof hole last spring. Post-Star Tribune wrote cardiac event, ignoring how he'd saved 12 fishermen during the '04 storm. Wind razor-blade through Michael's flannel as he re-entered. Last year's pulmonary tests showed lungs of a 40-year-old, but now they rattled like a Chevy with bad lifters. The kitchen smelled of cinnamon and loneliness. Insulin vials in the bread box grinned through their Heroes of Storm lunchbox, cartoon faces cheerful as mall Santas. The syringe crunched into belly fat. Susan would have scolded, "Mikey, it's not yogurt, aim right." Noon brought quartz sorting, 34 years collection spread across Formica. Neighbors will hawk these as Airport souvenirs, he thought, tossing a mica-flecked stone. Susan had found it moving day 89. Look, Mike, shines like your bronze stars. The 4:17 p.m. phone buzz announced attorney-daughter Jennifer's Sunday call. "Dad, I ordered you a life alert pendant." She skipped hellos. Neck button like Mrs. Hudson's. Michael pictured robo-voices announcing senior down, repeat senior down. He stirred boiling eggs with a handleless spoon. "Want me to bark with every dizzy spell?" Buy tickets to your reality show, Geriatric Watch 24/7. Her childhood wine returned. "You're 6 flight hours away. What do I tell the kids if?" "Say I joined Cirque du Soleil," he interrupted, grabbing Walmart vanilla. Diabetic sugar sat untouched since Christmas, but he ripped open Domino's. Knife-swallowing act. When silence crackled, he softened. 2 weeks till your sofa. You'll beg for silence. Crimson Sunset found him searing steak in Susan's wedding gift skillet. Grease spattered the '98 photo album, them painting their new mailbox. She'd chosen the Rogers and curlicue script from Hobby Lobby stencils. Cell light interrupted memory. Email from Billy, Rochester's ready pal. Remember 78 Dairy Queen girl? Michael smirked around the throat lump. Back when they teased Billy over his Coney Island fling. North Wind snuffed the candle, jarring the butcher knife shadow. He rose too fast, world tilting, chair crashing. Palm smacked table edge, quartz tears chiming across linoleum. Back against the wood stove, Fitbit flashed 145, 132, 128. He pressed Susan's blue worrystone to his forehead cold as her migraine compresses. Sakai, he told empty shelves. All good. 1 a.m. fireplace glow found him poking embers. The carry-on held a Michael's watercolor set. Art therapy at 65. Pathetic. Yet his hand air-painted Soda Lake dawns, sapphire skies, pines reaching like arthritic fingers. Outside, Toyota's hulls harmonized with chimney winds. The husky dug snowdrifts by the gate. Saying goodbye, bud? Michael fogged the pain. The airline receipts back red, meds blue bag. Gas off. Ted gets keys. Susan's fridge notes flashed milk. Toyota's treats. Love you. Packing his sacks uncovered 87 Fort Bragg photos, his casted arm hugging blood-splattered Susan in triage. They'd saved lives then. No. First light hit the mailbox as he hauled trash. The Rogers flakes revealed rust. Frost melted under his touch. The pocket ticket crinkled Seattle at 8 a.m., Rochester 4:20 p.m. Toyota's silence prickled his neck. Forest edge shadows shifted bare or birch swaying. He stilled, listening. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick. Michael hadn't slept in 38 hours straight, barring a 20-minute nap at Juneau Airport where a flight attendant woke him with suspicious perkiness. Sir, boarding started. Now staring out the plane window en route to Minneapolis, he watched the wing slice through clouds resembling Cool Whip from Jewel-Osco. His Fitbit insisted on vibrating, 110 BPM, like his heart was trying to bust through his ribcage. Seattle met him with rain, the obnoxious, persistent kind that turned his layover into a gauntlet. Jennifer raced to baggage claim with an umbrella large enough for D-Day and a thermos of healthy tea smelling of kombucha swamp. Dad, they'll check everything, she said, eyeing his blue medical tote. Dr. Kowalski's the top cardiologist in the Midwest. Michael picked at his styrofoam coffee cup, imagining Susan's horror at him drinking this brown sludge. Lord, Mike, instant coffee? You'll gum up your insides worse than Elmer's glue. The Rochester flight seated him next to a girl studying embryology textbooks. Her pink AirPods leaked tinny bass as she tapped rhythms on her North Face fleece. 3 times he almost spoke, about textbooks, weather, anything, but his tongue stuck like peanut butter to the roof of his mouth. The apartment at Silver Maple Senior Living blended hospital sterility with Motel 6 decor, couched the color of French's mustard, fake ficus dustier than a library book, microwave sporting fossilized spaghetti splatter. Michael dropped his suitcase beneath a twee home is where the heart is plaque. First morning found him battling a Mr. Coffee machine, instruction manual crumpled from 3 readings. Boiling water baptized his wrist with an angry stripe. Greetings from Alaska, he muttered, running cold tap water over the burn. Outside, Rochester yawned awake, minivan snaking toward Mayo Clinic, blue-haired ladies power walking to Target, some skateboard punk nearly taking out a Shih Tzu. He unpacked fishing gear at 7 a.m. Lake Soda's concrete banks reeked of chlorine and saccharine decay. As Michael untangled his line, a man in a Mayo windbreaker approached. Rainbow trout stalked yesterday, the stranger nodded, eyes glittering like methadone patients. Try a blue demon lure. Michael adjusted his new I Love Rochester ball cap. In Sitka, we say if bait stinks worse than your ex, it's a good day. They fished in silence. Michael caught 2 Walmart bags and a crock. His Fitbit counted down to the cardiology appointment. Mayo Clinic unfolded like an IKEA maze. Michael wandered glass corridors until security escorted him to G4. A nurse weighed him, took blood pressure, then chirped, "Any suicidal thoughts these past 2 weeks?" Dr. Kowalski's office resembled a museum. Malachite-framed diplomas, blown glass heart paperweight, smooth jazz oozing from invisible speakers. The doc himself looked 40 going on burnout, Fitbitrist with a nervous eye tick. "Mr. Rogers, your EKG reads smoother than a Billy Collins poem." He clicked through scans. "But we'll need MRI, echo, vascular checks." Michael studied his monitor reflection. Nose veins like blue worms, eye bags matching yesterday's Earl Grey. "Susan say I look like thought-out Walt Disney," he thought, pocketing lab orders. 7 hours of tests yielded an arrhythmia survival guide and medical alert bracelet. Getting lost near an art studio, Michael paused at a sign. Senior Watercolor Wednesdays, stress relief through art. The proprietor, a 60-something with a skunk-striped mohawk, cursed in Spanglish into her iPhone. Spotting Michael, she hung up grinning crookedly. "Oh, my first retired stud." She yanked him toward easels. "Grab brushes." "Picasso got old too, cabron." Michael's protests died as paint fumes sparked memories of Crayola-scented 5 dimes near Fort Hood. Initial smudges became something lake-adjacent. The woman, Isabel, gaped at his canvas, cigarette dangling. "Hi, Joel. You paint like Jackson Pollock's drunk cousin. Want tequila?" He declined, citing diabetes, but booked next week's class. Pedestrians stared at his paint-splattered walk home. "Look like escapee from Shady Acres," he muttered, clutching wet canvas. Evening brought Bill, childhood buddy now resembling a deflated whoopee cushion in Dickies overalls. "Mikey Goddamn Rogers." Mint Oddfellow's breath enveloped him. 40 years gone like a fart in church. They balcony-sipped Jack Daniels from solo cups. Bill rambled about ex-wives, his bankrupt Jiffy Lube, and new French bulldog. Michael nodded, eyeing some gens or cussing out Tinder matches below. "Remember Sandra? Ice Cream Queen Junior year." Bill slapped his liver-spotted dome. "Tucson now. Third hubby's an endodontist." Past midnight, authentic laughter erupted, gut-born, not the performative kind for Jennifer. 2 whiskeys in, Michael mangled, "Take 5" on saxophone so badly Bill wheezed, "You're killing me, Smalls." Post-goodbyes, silence roared louder. Standing amidst unpacked boxes, kitchen faucet drips mocked his Fitbit's 98 BPM. Something thrashed internally, raccoon in a trash can panic. He channel-surfed alien conspiracy shows while unpacking. Susan's scarves held mothballs and Sitka sea spray. A photo album of their cabin unleashed dust devils in his lungs. Beneath John Grisham novels lurked the ham radio they'd used tuning into tankers crackling Morse codes. 3 a.m. found him balcony prowling. Rochester glowed sodium vapor orange. Some riverbank window burned. Fellow insomniac? He imagined Susan whispering, "See that light? Japanese spy radioing our secrets." Dawn fishing flopped. As Michael bait-wormed, teenagers descended. "Gramps, you catch and release or frying pan tonight," some Nike-capped twerp sneered. Before Michael could retort about tenderizing brats, a teacher snapped. Mr. Rogers served. "Show respect." They sulked. Departing later, Nike cap hollered, "Sick-sleeve tat, old dude." That evening, Isabel forced him to paint nude life drawing. The model's wrinkled body and beaded necklace evoked Susan on their wedding night. Blushing like a Baptist at Mardi Gras, Michael spilled water on chinos. "The belly button scare you?" Isabel kicked his stool with combat-booted foot. We're all meat sacks, Mark. Michael, he corrected, mixing cadmium hues. Whatever. Same damn letter. By third class, she gifted him a $100 sable brush. Don't lose it, you senile bastardo. Rochester slowly morphed into home. Michael found a sugar-free bakery, cardboard cookies Jennifer approved, DFW library hybrids, and Floyd's barbershop, where Bob knew every doctor's golf handicap. But Sitka haunted nightmares. 3 a.m. way-ups from phantom Twinget wolf howls. Fumbling for nitro pills, finding the medical alert bracelet instead. Red-painted skiffs from Susan's funeral expenses dissolving into matchsticks mid-dream. Second clinic visit cued him behind wheelchair weepers and autism spectrum meltdowns. The MRI tech was Lake Nike cap, hat now dented. Relax, pops, or your scans look like Cloverfield, he joked, rolling Michael into the whirring tube. 40 minutes of mechanical whale songs later, results came clean as an Olympic runner, per Kowalski. But parking lot dizziness struck. Leaning against a lamppost, real Sitka pine sent pierced Rochester's Febreze trees. Jennifer's evening call interrupted his quartz crystal arrangement. Dad, how's Bill? Her 6-year-old's, can I keep the puppy? Tone resurfaced. He lied about spills and crypto pitches. When she mentioned geriatric-friendly condos, Michael cut in. Jenny, your mother, and I banged in a pup tent outside Bakersfield. I'm decorated enough. Bedtime watercoloring birthed Sitka cabin outlines until Isabel barged in with pineapple pizza, abomination, and Cuervo. Viejos shouldn't mope alone, she declared, slinging tequila into Diet Cokes. They swapped stories past 2 a.m. Isabel, Marine widow, mom to gay twins, failed erotic comic artist. My boy's no deprivation better than you know Metamucil, she cackled when Michael nagged about her Marlboros. That night, he skipped pulse checks. Dreams featured Bill/Susan tangoing cliffside, Isabel vandalizing mailboxes purple, Dr. Kowalski fishing for Lake Crocs. Morning brought a sea salt-scented envelope on his welcome mat, Sitka's slanted handwriting bleeding through paper. The envelope lay on the floor like a beach jellyfish, crumpled, water stained at the edges, salt rings mimicking ocean spray. Michael picked it up with trembling fingers, the scent hitting his windpipe, iodine, rain-soaked juniper, and that peculiar Sitka snow smell right before a storm. The black ink handwriting belonged to Jack the fisherman, his former neighbor who'd once growled ominous warnings about bears claiming human carcasses. He delayed opening it, brewed Folgers despite having 3 pots already, checked his glucose monitor, 112 milligrams per deciliter, not bad, rearranged his healing crystals in their secret order. Sitka memories flashed, Jack yelling about unlit pilot lights in '09, delivering salmon after Susan's funeral, drunkenly reciting Yeats at the 4th of July bonfire. The paper crackled like thin ice. Inside, a Eagle's Nest Properties demolition notice and handwritten pages. Michael started with the legal document. Dear Mr. Rogers, terms like eminent domain and luxury condominium development blurred as he reached the gut punch line. Structure at 47, Strong Straight Road was demolished September 14th with proper. The coffee maker's hiss made him jump. For a heartbeat, he saw red roof shingles crushed by excavators, Susan's Christmas light window shattered, their painstakingly assembled oak bed from '92 being dumped with an AS is sticker. Jack's messy scrawl proved crueler. Mike, you stubborn mule. They took the garage first. Remember stashing Yukon Jack there during the wives' Tupperware parties? Tried saving your damn mailbox. Contractors said it clashed with aesthetics. Bolted it to my tool shed. Don't thank me. Piestea killed a seagull. Thinks she's queen of the docks now. He sat until coffee went cold, seeing the 2,300 miles from Rochester to Sitka as a suture line across America. Photo albums whispered, "You let them." You ran. A neighbor's yapping chihuahua watching Animal Planet merged with imaginary husky howls. The doorbell made him drop his mug. Isabel stood there with a paint-smeared cheek and collapsing easel. "You look like death warmed over. Move it." He tried resisting, but she dragged him downstairs muttering about art therapy for spiritual amputees. Lake Soda Park felt alien. Michael mechanically arranged brushes while Isabel pinned a door-sized canvas to an oak. "Today we paint rage," she declared, thrusting brick-red acrylics at him. "Exorcise it all." His first stroke gouged the paper. Paint mixed into murky purples as he envisioned Sitka's inky waves swallowing bulldozers. Isabel silently replaced torn canvases. "You're scared of being erased," she finally said, watching cerulean streaks drip down bark. He reached for ultramarine, exact shade of navy dress uniforms. Susan used to tease stand-down sailor during their fishing trips. "Home's not four walls," Isabel smeared crimson across her Levi's jacket. "Took me 3 years to sleep in one's room. Now I share it with the hoarder parrot." A yellow slash became sunlight on a rusted mailbox. His shaky hand spilled turpentine. Isabel's cackle drew bystanders. "Grandpa Picasso," some skateboarder yelled. At Time Flies Antiques, Michael found it. A 60s mailbox labeled the Millers identical to their Sitco one. $45. "Looks like my old Alaskan model," he rasped, tracing peeling red paint. The prune-faced clerk adjusted her Lions Club pin, survived 3 Wyoming winters. Carried love letters through 69 floods. He bought it with Halavik money. Isabel carried it home, eyeing him oddly. Installing it took hours. Michael screwed the box to his balcony rail, dropping bolts onto lower units until the downstairs neighbor banged his ceiling. Inside went Sitka ferry tickets, a house photo, and Jennifer's first letter addressed "Dad's New Digs." "Now you can mail yourself regrets," Isabel said, handing him a Finger Lakes postcard. Useless nostalgia's the best kind. Next morning brought shock. During his check non-existent mail ritual, Michael found an envelope addressed "Mr. Lonely Heart" in crayon. Inside, winged heart artwork signed Emily 3B. He stared until a voice yelled, "Took me forever." A 9-year-old in a Hot Topic backpack waved from the sidewalk. "Dad says you're sad. We watched you wrestle that box." Her father emerged carrying Domino's boxes, teacher's satchel, Springfield College hoodie. Later learned he taught Civil War history. "Hope we're not intruding," Emily insisted. "Welcome wagon rules," he offered pizza. "Pepperoni versus prediabetes?" They ate on the balcony. Emily rambled about her school play cloud role. Sid revealed he'd watched 6 tenants flee Silver Maples apartments. "You're our longest survivor." Ghosts usually chase folks off. That night, Michael transformed Susan's things. Hermes scarves became chair throws. Her preserved wedding dress sheathed his sacks. At 3 a.m., he slept through ghosts, street sweepers by the dialysis center. Days developed new rhythms. The mailbox spawned messages, Bill's blanket fort Polaroid, Isabel's caricature of him as Grumpy Salmon, even Nurse Amy's EKG sketch labeled Picasso Heart. But Sitka lingered. During MRI scans, machine roars became inside passage storms. Text joked, "Your ticker's playing bebop." The confrontation came lakeside. Michael fished his usual spot when a ginger-haired man approached with Orvis gear. Jonathan Grace. Eagle's Nest. We salvaged personal effects. He revealed ceramic tiles from Susan's bathroom. Sign our press release. Returning land to nature. They agreed to meet next week. Michael stormed to Isabel's studio, painting Traitor in arterial red. Teens ruined next day's fishing. Some TikToker yelled, "Do the shaky veteran act for my vlog." That night, his Fitbit hit 145 BPM. nitro pill dissolving like death's candy. Across the courtyard, Sid fed Emily oatmeal while explaining Gettysburg. Morning brought Jennifer's text, "Dad, why hide cardiomyopathy?" He silenced his iPhone, buried med reports under crystals, then painted shattered hearts at art class. Showdown occurred Thursday. Jonathan arrived with silver briefcase housing Susan's cracked dolphin tile. "Sign here." Paperwork gleamed on his Lexus hood. The pen hovered. Michael remembered Susan dancing on unpacked floors, shelves that'd later slump each winter. Can't. He tossed the Mont Blanc into Lake Soda. Jonathan upped offers, $10,000, assisted living suite, code violation threats. Michael stayed silent until he left. Home offered Bill with Jack Daniels and insane plans for a vet's art collective. MDs versus PTSD, he slurred in Vikings mugs. At midnight, Michael played Gershwin's Summertime until sirens drowned the sax dawn brought clarity. He stormed Isabel's paint-splattered studio, Need Your Chaos. At Hooked on Fishing, Michael bought ridiculous lures, neon worms, pizza-shaped bobbers. Isabel gathered sea-toss junk. By dusk, their balcony became an installation, polyethylene waves, Sitka quartz mobiles, the mailbox as lighthouse. Centerpiece, cracked tile labeled Museum of Escapes. Neighbors gathered. Emily added a Beanie Baby seal, security guard. Darkness fell. Isabel hugged him, reeking of Chardonnay. "YouTube brats can't erase this now." Knight's mail brought a real Alaskan letter. Jack wrote about Taya becoming a tourist attraction at new condos. "Maybe old fools still matter? Come before they bulldoze my shack." Michael wrote back under blue lamp light, "Museums preserve." "I'm curating phantoms here." Wind chimes sang as quartz pieces clinked. Below, TikTok teens' bonfire glowed. At 4 a.m., he painted blended realities, Sitka waves kissing Rochester concrete, twin suns, home's red roof, hospital logo. Isabel growled from her cot, "Sleep, old man." Bear portraits tomorrow. He painted until sunrise, fingers acrylic crusted. The mailbox held a new postcard, staying. Dawn found Michael at the easel, brush suspended midair like a paused bullet. Watercolor waves bled into Lake Sparkling beyond the window, creating a vertigo-inducing trompe l'oeil. The paint splotch on his sleeve resembled Alaska's outline. He noted this with a bitter smirk, squinting against the morning glare. The refrigerator's hum merged with ringing ears, another episode, or exhaustion, when Knuckles' wrapping glass shattered the silence. Isabel barged in uninvited, cinnamon-scented pastry bundle tucked underarm. Her gaze swept the half-finished canvas, lingering on 3 empty Red Bull cans littering the floor. "Certifiable genius or grade a lunatic," she declared, unwrapping still-warm salmon collages on the table. Yesterday's balcony floor show, today abstract expressionism. Tomorrow, Van Gogh cosplay. Michael flinched from her shoulder touch. The coffee maker hissed approval. He meant to snipe about her paint-smeared skirt, but Cottonmouth stole the retort. A coughing fit bent him double, fingers clawing the chair back. Catfish lips, she tossed a water bottle his way. Shower. Clinic appointment in 40. Her words washed over him until the gut punch. "Jenny's been blowing up my phone. Says you've ghosted her for 2 weeks." The slammed door echoed in his temples. 14 missed calls glared from Jennifer's contact photo. Michael robot chewed a collage, then deliberately donned the plaid shirt Susan called his garage rag. The Mayo Clinic waiting room reeked of Army med tents, Lysol, and doomed expressions. Dr. Kowalski clicked his pen, scanning fresh labs. "Mr. Rogers," he began, and Michael mentally finished. "We found something. Your serum creatinine." Medical terms swirled like fall leaves. 2.1 milligrams per deciliter. Hyperkalemia. Spiking GFR. Michael stared at a diabetes prevention poster, grinning couple chomping kale, while guilt curdled over Isabel's sugar-laden birthday cake. Med adjustment, stricter diet, the doctor tapped prescription printouts. And Mr. Rogers, the stress. Have you considered counseling? He exited clutching RX slips. The left elevator out of order forced stairs where each step Jared's Sitka ice slope knees. Isabel waited at the bike rack with acrylics. Still kicking, she nodded at his Walgreens bag. They pedaled towards shore in silence, outpaced by a walker-assisted grandma. Michael studied his hands, ropier veins, wax paper skin. Here. She halted at a hidden trail behind the pier. The boathouse studio reeked of pine tar and rosemary. A mural proclaimed ghosts deserve art too. Isabel cranked a vintage radio. Accented weatherman warned of incoming storms. Strip, she ordered, lobbing a door-sized canvas. Michael froze mid-brushstroke as she unbuttoned her blouse. Not that kind of show, she laughed, revealing mastectomy scars. Pain's not your exclusive franchise. Pigments exploded in furious tango. Michael painted self-loathing, betrayed organs, Jonathan Grace's buzzing calls. Isabel's crimson abstractions bled. At sunset, she wiped hands on Levi's, called Jenny. Jennifer arrived next morning. Michael hid meds in a minute rice can, military precise. Her wheeled suitcase clattered in. Susan's almond eyes narrowed. Dad, she wouldn't hugged, smelling of airline peanuts and Chanel No. 5. Why the kidney poker face? Diabetic chocolates glared indictment on the kitchen table. Jennifer swiped through Seattle retirement community brochures. His gaze snagged her wallpaper, grandkids laughing on a carousel. Hydrotherapy pools, she thrust her phone, screen glare whitening his bifocals. 24/7 care teams. He stood, elbow knocking tea over grandbaby photos. Earl Grey bled across toddler cheeks. I'm not some jalopy, he muttered. I'm the peeling mailbox through grimy glass. The fight lasted till dusk. Jennifer ugly cried over Susan's death, waved ancestral photos, conference-called brothers. Michael's spiral-peeled potatoes. When she sob-packed in rapid Spanish, ice-era immigration lawyer habit, he growled, bring the kids. Weekend. Prep week hell. Age-inappropriate Legos, outlet covers, failed Netflix tutorials. Emily barged in first, blueprints drowning greetings. Upgrade Papa's museum, she demanded, picturing him as saxophone-wielding superhero. Twins Liam and Sophia treated his balcony art like Six Flags. By noon, Sitka quartz clogged the toilet. Isabel arrived with passion fruit, dubbing Jennifer Florence Nightingale Jr. Dad, are they all escaped asylum patients? Jennifer hissed as Sid taught seal barks. The fishing trip crescendo disaster. Liam dropped a $800 rod into the drink. His grandpa help, well harmonized with ambulance sirens, Sophia swelling from mosquito bites. In the EpiPen chaos, Michael locked eyes with Jennifer, same terror he'd seen during his heart attack. Her parting gift, an Apple Watch with SOS button. I can't, get another. He crushed her mid-sentence, Susan's white shoulders, perfume resurrecting in her hair. Post-goodbye silence screamed louder than Alaskan cicadas. Michael shuffled between saxophone vinyls and blaring talk shows. The mailbox now sported grandkids crayoned, world's okayest Gramps sign backward, R. The calendar stabbed, Susan's deathiversary tomorrow. 3 years since scattering ashes in Sitka Sound. He leafed through photo albums, their laughter echoing from intact home snapshots. Nightmares vomited fragments, Susan calling from demoed bathrooms, Jonathan Grace auctioning her dresses, Dr. Kowalski demanding hearts for signatures. Dawn found him Lakewood at 5 a.m., pulse strumming 130 BPM. Fog ghosted over sparkling lake. He walked until encountering the red-flagged hazard, Jonathan Grace smoking by the pier, legal pad and notary-stamped briefcase. Rogers, he nodded. Sign today or become Zillow gone wild fodder. Michael fingered nitroglycerin pills. Would the ex-JAG officer administer combat CPR if he collapsed? Option A. The documents approved danced. Bulldozers crushing Jack's shed flashed behind eyelids. His hand reached. A gull's shriek startled both. Isabel materialized with easel and thermos. Devil's Workshop sunrise, she wedged canvas between them. Paint or piss off. Jonathan spewed legalese until Michael shredded the contract, scattering pieces like ash. Isabel wordlessly passed outlawed sweetened coffee. She'd want. She produced rainbow balloons. They hiked to ancient oaks, tying Susan's photo, medical chart, and museum sketches to the bench. Released balloons became orange specks as rain fell. The church door creaked first time since the funeral. Candle wax hope, and Ukrainian babushka dusted icons, humming. Michael sat on McGregor family-donated pew, Sitka quartz heavy in pocket. The stone clicked against communion rail. No prayer, just watching dust waltz in stained light. The donation box hid Emily's crayon angel, winged heart labeled Kick Baddies. That evening he called Bill. Their 37-minute talk broke 2-decade silence, arguing Cedar grades, Gulf War jokes, sudden laughter. Before hanging up, sometimes retreats the real advance. He slept hugging a pillow reeking of fish and burn umber. 4 a.m. wakefulness revealed Snowfall Strait as Sitka blizzards. The mailbox glittered under ice inside. A stampless postcard showed their old home with glass dome roof. Back, 3 words in Jack's scrawl. Tundra misses you. Michael tacked it over bed instead of trashing. Morning meant plotting exhibits with Isabel. Some ghosts deserved galleries. The snow crunched under the taxi tires like crushed glass marbles. Michael stared through the window at Rochester's passing neon, CVS pharmacies, Starbucks signs, endless parking lots. His hand clenched a Seattle Anchorage ticket purchased that morning in a fit of nostalgia. For empty Monster Energy cans rocked on the seat beside him, their silver sides reflecting his face fractured by streetlight shadows. The art studio smelled of jasmine candles and disappointment. Isabel sorted gifted brushes into tin cans engraved with 1967, the year of her birth. Only expect this kind of grand gesture from Lady Gaga concert merch. She threw a gummy bear at him. Guess which junk drawer this gift came from? Michael clicked the remote, flooding the wall with their collaborative masterpiece, an abstraction where crimson brushstrokes collided with his palm print. Bill would have called it Widow's Lament with a modern twist. I'll learn, he jabbed at his phone screen displaying the ticket. Back in a month. 3 weeks. While Isabel yanked the projector cord, plunging them into gloom. The fridge behind the wall hummed, storing her unfinished still lives of moldy vegetables. You drove sugar-free candy across 2 states to give me synthetic bristle brushes. Her laughter crackled like autumn leaves under boots. Romantic. Stupidly romantic. He tried to speak, but his tongue went numb, not metaphorically this time. The left corner of his mouth twitched, burning with aspirin bitterness. Isabel froze, rolling up his sleeve to check his pulse with that yoga technique he'd mocked for months. 98. Steady. Agitated, she muttered, fingers on his carotid. When's your last insulin shot? Memory mosquitoes buzzed louder than street lamps. Michael imagined daughter Jennifer unpacking his suitcases. Would she find the backup glucose monitor in his hiking backpack? Would 9-year-old Liam get lost in the assisted living facility's hallways? Isabel zipped his jacket with motherly precision, her fingers brushing the scar on his left shoulder. Send a postcard. Something heartfelt like, second chances won't kill you. Signed, your fishing instructor. The snow turned to stinging rain as the taxi carried her toward the clinic. Michael stood holding a cardboard box of mementos, sea glass, photos, an unfinished memoir chapter about his first battlefield surgery. The neighbor's tabby watched from a windowsill, licking raindrops off its whiskers. The station held a surprise: Seattle tickets canceled due to Denver blizzards. A clerk with Eiffel Tower nail art offered Phoenix routing. Michael laughed hard enough to trigger the security monitor's red alert. "Am I 80? He asked the juice machine that ate his $5 bill. "Or does defeat just smell like this?" His medication bag weighed heavier than a boat anchor. Michael squeezed onto a bench between a Beats headphone teen and a guitar-toting drifter mingling Dixie's Land. He let the off-key notes blend with blood rush in his ears. A phone alert shattered the audio hallucination. Jennifer sent a senior center photo: hydrotherapy pool, library, ping-pong tables. Front and center, Emily made faces at the camera holding a "Grandpa's new pad" sign. His elbow spasmed, sending the phone skittering across wet tiles. "You're soon" got delayed, he told the cracked screen, wiping it on his jeans. After 6 hours waiting, Michael surrendered. The senior discount rental car with companion driver cost a pension check's third, but airport plastic chairs terrified his arthritis more than bankruptcy. GPS suggested South Dakota routing, 28 hours via Mojave. First miles passed with Bill's voicemail: "Mike, goddammit, you kidding? Get back before Izzy auctions your sacks." Past Riverside, rain turned highways into funhouse mirrors. The GPS lady suggested detours until Michael silenced her, remembering that trench night with Susan pre-GPS. At a Bakersfield gas station, he bought turkey subs and a newspaper. An article about a Tucson retiree shooting a burglar made him check Izzy's Sinner deterrent pistol in the glove box. His hands shook reloading. Nevada's Golden Cactus motel glowed with neon spines promising Wi-Fi and hot showers. A clerk with hummingbird collarbone ink handed him a key: senior discount for first-hour bookings. The room reeked of mildew and Lysol. Michael turned on the TV, Seattle's storm coverage, psoriasis drug ads, an Iron Chef rerun. He propped Susan's wallet photo against cracked mirror glass. Her smile reflected both young and weathered. "Right choice," he mumbled, wrapping himself in bleach-scented linens. The answer came at 3 a.m., door creak, footsteps on vinyl. Michael fumbled for the bedside gun, trembling fingers barely gripping. A shadow lunged for his jeans pockets. Muzzle flash revealed a pimpled teen face twisted in fear. "Jesus, old man." The kid collapsed, arms overhead. "I got kids." Michael lowered the barrel, heart-hammering ribs. The thief fled, tripping on hallway carpet. Dawn found him sitting knees to chest, listening to every corridor sound. 5 a.m. brought Bill's call. "Mike, your Jonathan Grace is here. Claims you owe for blueprints." The voice crackled with orchestra rehearsal echoes. "Telbat pirate." Michael licked cracked lips. "He can talk to my Seattle attorney." He hung up mid-retort. Highway phone booths flickered like tech ghosts. Michael dialed the clinic, but got flu prevention voicemail instead of Dr. Kowalski. At Sacramento's Walmart lot, chills hit. 102 degrees Fahrenheit fever, pulse 115. The gas station register rejected his card. Michael channeled teenage fury into punching the counter, breaking his pinky. "Need a doctor?" the teen cashier asked, filming his flushed face. "Got 20, Michael spat, throwing cash. He drove 80 more miles until vision doubled. Parked by an abandoned church, he fumbled emergency supplies: aspirin, insulin, eye drops. The syringe trembled, needles stabbing his finger. Michael yelled, shattering the rearview. Glass shards mixed with candy wrappers on the seat. Sleep brought nightmares. Susan in wedding white stood at a quarry's edge, voice merging with wind. "You promised not to quit." Michael awoke gasping like beached fish. GPS showed 134 miles to Seattle. A diner glowed like salvation. A waitress named Sunny served abstract art eggs. "You okay?" she asked, moving the salt shaker from his shaking hands. "Call someone." Michael shook his head, spilling coffee on grandkids' photos. Liam and Sophia blurred into brown stains, grief's watercolor. Near Tacoma, patrol lights stopped him. A poker-faced officer knocked. "Know you're driving on the shoulder?" Michael's slurred response died. Flashing lights blinded as another cop opened his door. "Sir, taking any medications?" Their voices blended with horns. Hands dragged him out. Michael jerked violently, skull hitting doorframe. Last sight, rain-pixelated sky. He awoke to hospital monitors beeping. And foretethered his arm, mouth metallic. Jennifer clutched a diagnosis sheet: hypoglycemic coma, dehydration, fractured pinky. "You promised," her whisper hissed like champagne bubbles. "No more risks for the kids." Michael tried moving, the four biting his vein. The room swayed like his Alaskan fishing boat. "We moved your things," Jennifer pressed the nurse call button. "Signing paperwork tomorrow." He wanted to shout, protest, but his tongue lay dead. Through parting curtains, he saw Emily's window fog art, heart pierced by anchor.